Hey, what's up? This is Kevin from Kevin's Barbecue Joints, and in this episode I talked to Ray Ramirez from Ray's Barbecue in Huntington Park, California. It is just south of downtown Los Angeles, and if you haven't been there, you definitely need to go. It's definitely a slice of Texas here in Los Angeles. He's serving brisket, amazing brisket, beef ribs. He just started selling beef ribs again, sausage, jalapeno cheddar sausage right now from Southside Market, which is from Elgin, Texas. His pork ribs are great. He's got pulled pork. He's got a brisket burrito, which is the size of my head, which I have a pretty large head, so it's a huge brisket burrito. He has just amazing sides. You would definitely do yourself a service for going down there. He talks about his history. He started out selling in his backyard. He was doing a pop-up thing, kind of the pop-up thing that people are doing. He was doing it way back when, and then moved on to his brick and mortar. We talk about his travels to Texas, talk about his passion, what fuels him. I really think you'll like it, and if you do like what you see, please subscribe, but enjoy this for sure. You know, it's funny, here, I got a Topo Chico too.
Okay.
We'll have to show them later on. We'll get this sponsored by Topo Chico. one of these days I can pull out a sponsorship.
That was straight up coincidence. Well, they're following you already.
I know, that's crazy.
That's so cool.
I got these at Sprouts.
No, not only that, but they're more refreshing than Perrier.
Oh gosh, yeah. This is I got my mom addicted because we came to your place. She's now addicted to them. My aunt's addicted to them. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon, Kevin. Thanks for having me here. It's a pleasure.
Oh no, it's been too long. We've been trying to put this together for a long time, so I'm glad you have the time and I have the time, so it's perfect.
No, thanks. It's a pleasure to be here.
So how was your day today?
It's busy ever since a couple weeks ago. It's been really nice. It's just been more pounds than usual, but we've been waiting for this moment. We've been ready.
So we'll get to why this moment is why it's busier right now. But I kind of want to get into your past and your history and how you got to where you are right now. So how did you get into the barbecue business?
So this all started. It all started in 2014. At that particular time, I was selling refurbished Traeger grills, the ones that they return from Costco, and some wholesaler buys them. And then I had the connection where they would call me, hey, we got some Traegers, come over and pick them up. And I would, buy the parts and refurbish them and sell them on Craigslist.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's one of my little behind the scenes secrets. But at that time, I knew how to sort of do ribs and pulled pork, but never. It was more like once in a blue moon.
Okay, and why did you choose Traeger amongst all things to refurbish? Did you just because you knew somebody that had Traeger?
That and there was back in 2014, 2013, there was a fever going on. Everybody, the Pitmaster shows and all these.
Gotcha.
Diva Q was with her pink Traeger grill smoker, and there was a fever. So people wanted to buy them, but they didn't want to spend $1,000, but they would spend 500 or 600.
So you were smart and you capitalized on that.
Capitalized, well, necessity is the like somebody quoted my story. JC quoted as necessity is the mother of all pitmasters. I think in that case and many others it applies.
So you were doing that for a little while, and then when did you start cooking for yourself?
So it all started in 2000 January 2014. One of my buddies from those groups on Facebook that post pictures of barbecue and asking for tips and all that tells me, hey, why don't you sell barbecue out of your house? Because he liked my pictures. And I asked him, well, how much would you pay for a pulled pork sandwich? He's like, I'll pay $9 for it if you include some chips. I was like, not a bad idea. Now I got to learn how to make pulled pork. But sometimes you're put into situations where you don't know how to do that specific task that you have in mind, but you figure it out.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what happened. So I took pictures. I put it out on Facebook sometime in the middle of January 2014, and the ad said clearly, hey, I'm giving away free samples of pulled pork, coming over to my home and try them out.
And this is in Huntington Park, right?
This is in Huntington Park. I was at my mom's house. We had just sold our house last year because I was unemployed from Chase Bank, and over the years I just couldn't land any job that would even remotely pay my bills. So I was scraping. I I did everything in the book from buying. Remember those shows, where you bought the storages.
Uh-huh.
Did that. We even came out on one of the episodes right in the background of those.
Like a storage war type thing?
Yes, yeah.
Wow.
We were in the background. And, of course, it was pretty cool. But yeah, we were buying storages. We were doing everything in the book to pay the bills and not fall behind. But so I sold the house.
Uh-huh.
That was in August. We moved back to my mom's house right away.
Okay.
And then, winter passed in January. So in the heart of, I guess you could say, winter,
Okay.
being in California, it's still 65,
70.
70.
Yes.
If you want to call it winter. I started selling barbecue out of my house. Pulled pork sandwiches was the first item I had.
Were those ribs? Pulled pork sandwiches. Okay.
Pulled pork sandwiches, and then the few customers that showed up, I sold that. I remember $60 like in 2 hours. And I was like, wow, $5 each, 60 bucks. This is awesome. But then their question was like, pulled pork is awesome. Do you have ribs? I go, no, but I could have them for you tomorrow. I didn't have them. I was like, if you come back tomorrow, give me $10 deposit. I'll have them to you tomorrow. Okay. So I sold $120 worth of ribs the next day, just the pulled pork. Within 2 weekends, I had lines forming out of my driveway.
Wow. And then what kind of smoker were you using at the time?
I was using a Kamado, which was a high-end $5,000 ceramic grill. I was using the Traeger pig, and I was using another Texas Traeger because the other ones that I had, I didn't want to use them because those were for sale on Craigslist.
Okay. So within 2 weeks, you had a line going outside of the backyard into the street. Is that kind of?
So pretty much, the driveway at my mom's house was very long, and about 2 weeks into it, February 4th, 5th, was Super Bowl weekend. I don't know what happened, man, but people showed up in busloads. I have lines, but by 2 weeks into it, 3 weeks into it, I was already doing chicken. I was already doing ribs. I was already doing pulled pork sandwiches. And then later on down the road, a couple of weeks into it, we brought in some other menu items that we were selling to out of our house.
And was this just solely through word of mouth?
It was the Facebook.
Oh, Facebook.
It was one of those community pages where you post stuff that you're selling or offering.
Okay.
And it was for one that I think it's still there. I haven't seen it. It was called the Southgate Huntington Park Linwood page. And at that time, there was 12,000, 13,000 followers. So it was the biggest page within the neighborhood.
Okay.
Now, you got to remember, in those days, Instagram was still in its crawling stages. It was still in its baby. So it wasn't as popular as those pages. Those pages where everybody around my neighborhood kind of if you wanted some type of snack or if you wanted sell something, hey, go ahead up to.
That's really cool. And then from there, how long did you have that business before things kind of went sideways?
So the whole month of February was good. And then what we were doing is, we knew it was illegal. I mean, it didn't take rocket science. We just didn't know how illegal it was. So what I told my wife, I was like, okay, let's get a couple $1,000. Let's put them on the side. So if we get caught, then we could pay the bill. And then we rolled the wave. And then March 3rd, first week of March, I get a phone call. Yeah, this is so and so, the city code enforcement. We've been watching your page, and we want you to stop selling out of your house. I was like, okay, thanks for giving me the opportunity. And I thanked them, and I told them, okay, we won't do it again. Well, we didn't do it again for that month. And then, but in that meantime, I took the advice from my mom, and I started looking for a vacant restaurant. And then we found this place. We signed the lease, I think it was the first week of April. And then I told my wife, oh, well, it's time to start giving it all we got. Now if we get caught, who cares? And
And they caught you solely because of the Facebook page. They hadn't visited your location.
no, they hadn't visited. They had just caught me uh,
Talking about it,
posting,
promoting it.
and then he calls me up and left me a voicemail on my cell phone. I called back. Obviously, it's the city. I knew who they were, and then I told them, okay, don't worry, we won't do it again. I stopped, and then I sold those Traegers, and I bought myself one of those 500-pound Cook Shack pellet speakers. Had it in my driveway. I had never in my life ever spent $9,000 for a used smoker, yet alone even, you know, thinking I was even going to spend it. But I bought it. I had it in my driveway. Nobody knew what it was. The doors were facing towards the driveway. It wasn't facing towards the street. But April came along, and I said, you know what? Let's gamble it. Let's roll the dice. And we put another ad on Facebook, and it just took off. But it wasn't every weekend. It was every other weekend. So in reality, total, if I were to add them up, Kevin, I'm thinking maybe 10 to 12 weekends.
Okay. It's 10 to 12 weekends prior to you opening up your restaurant.
In general, from start to 10 to 12 weekends is what it took to really grab the confidence and say, you know what, whatever happens, most important thing, we got the customers.
And how was that when you first opened up the restaurant? When you first opened the restaurant, I think you told me that it was more Kansas City style at the beginning.
Yeah, a little bit. I like to call it Kansas City, but in reality, to be honest with you, Kevin, it's more like backyard style.
Okay.
Kansas City, meaning that it had the your basic typical Kansas City rub, which is garlic, salt, paprika, cayenne pepper, brown sugar, heavy brown sugar. It was more on the sweet side,
Gotcha.
And the barbecue sauce being sweet, not like what I'm doing now, which is the salt and pepper. But as far as the my own creations, the nachos were a real big success, the pulled pork sandwiches, and of course a rack of St. Louis ribs, which is $20.
Yeah.
I mean, people were at a particular time during Father's Day and Mother's Day of 2014. I was doing 120 racks a day.
That's a decent amount.
Up to this day, I still have pictures, and I'm thinking, how would I even do it? But I think the adrenaline kicks in, and you just don't even think about it.
So what I find is really fascinating is the fact that you had never owned a restaurant before, you had never run a restaurant before. You had the tenacity and the drive, and you did it.
You know what? My mentality is simple. I was already on top of the horse. I was riding it, and this thing was already full speed ahead. It was either jump ship, jump away from the horse and just get injured and say, oh, I could have done it, or do it and then either succeed or fail.
Oh yeah, for sure. So what made you fall in love with Texas style barbecue?
Oh, so what happened? So after about a year, we opened up in Labor Day weekend 2014.
Okay.
It was good, but to be honest with you, a lot of mistakes, a lot of just learnings that that you make the mistakes and learn from the mistakes. Unfortunately, you lose customers in the process. Mm-hmm. It's what happens when you don't come from a restaurant background. Yeah. A year into it, I was kind of like thinking, I wouldn't say throwing the towel, but I was very on my downside.
Okay.
I didn't really know which direction I wanted to go. So I told my wife, hey, guess what? It's been a year since we opened up. I really don't know what I want to do. I'm stressed out. Let's figure out, see what we're going to do. And I told her, you know what? There's this barbecue shop in Texas, in Austin, where people wait 6 hours in line to eat brisket. What's brisket? I don't know. But let's go. My wife's like, I don't know. I go, me either. Well, let's go find out. Why are these people waiting in line 6 hours? So we drove. We drove 28 hours plus a time change, 30 hours straight. We got there on a Sunday, 3 in the morning, checked into the hotel at 6 in the morning.
Straight to Austin, you're saying?
Straight to Austin.
Okay.
But in between Austin, I did stop at Rudy's in El Paso.
Okay.
And I got out of the car and I told my wife, you know what, Rudy's, let's look it up on Yelp. Yeah, it looks good. 3.5 stars, 4 stars. I went in. Oh Jesus! This doesn't smell like regular kind of pellet smokers I've been. And I order a quarter pound of brisket of lean, a quarter pound of brisket moist, and then I sat down, got it on butcher paper. How do you eat this thing? And I asked the girl, and she's like, you get some white bread, you get some onions, and you get some jalapenos, and eat it like a sandwich. Good. I got some. I took a picture of it. I still have it somewhere in my pictures, and I took a bite. Damn, this is good stuff.
Yeah.
So if I'm looking forward to this, where people waiting in line, looks like I got really good stuff ahead of me.
That's kind of a nice start. Rudy's is a nice start for trying out Texas barbecue on your way to Texas.
You know what? That's what I tell everybody. Rudy's got my taste buds up and running. Mm-hmm. Now I didn't get the ribs. I didn't get now just the impression of getting there, and they serve it to you in these soda containers where you put the soda box.
Oh yeah.
Whatever you want to call them, I don't know the technical name.
Yeah, like a tray. What is that?
Yeah, just like a tray, whatever you want. And you look at it and you're like, why is this served like that? But then you dig into the food and the simplicity of it, and you put it in your mouth and you taste the salt and the pepper and that moist brisket, and you kind of hear the bells like in the SpongeBob cartoons where you and I have kids, so I watch all the cartoons.
Yeah, but like a brisket epiphany or a Texas barbecue epiphany.
Yeah, that was me. I heard the angels calling me, and I told my wife, I was like, well, looks like we got another 12 hours to go up, but I know what to expect. And
so so you got to the hotel, what was the first barbecue spot you, as I interrupt you?
First thing, no, don't worry about it. I'm good at interrupting too. At 6:30 in the morning, we're making a line at Franklin's Barbecue. Yeah, Franklin's Barbecue. We didn't know what to expect. We knew we had seen them on shows, but we had no idea how good it was going to be. Showed up, got a little bit of everything. Got a half pound lean, half pound moist. Got some turkey, got some sausage, some potatoes. Pretty much got the works. It was like $100. And I sat down with my kids and shot some pictures, and then digged into the first bite. I told my kids, and we looked at each other. We gotta learn how to make this. But I don't know. We'll read books. We'll watch videos. Well, we learn.
Well, luckily, you were at the time where things were accessible online. You had the ability to look at YouTube videos. I don't know if Aaron had his videos up yet. Were they?
Yes. They didn't. I don't think he had those. I don't think he had the videos he has now with the PBS series. No. But I know he had other videos that other people had filmed back in 2009 when he's explaining temperatures and he's explaining. Of course, I bought the book. I read it like 10 times. I think the book had already been out. So I already had good. But one thing's reading and one thing's watching videos. But doing it's a completely different animal.
Oh, for sure.
You think it's easy until you get started on it, and then it's like you realize, oh my God, this is a lot more difficult than what I thought.
Okay, so you waited in Franklin. You got all everything, the works.
Changed my life.
Told your kids, I'm coming back, and your wife and your kids, coming back. We're going to do this.
So we were there Sunday. We stayed the whole day. We didn't go nowhere else. We just went to Franklin's.
Okay.
Monday comes along. I get this phone call in the morning. Hey, Ray, I need a catering order for Thursday. It was like $4,000 because it was a really big order.
Yeah.
I told my wife, I guess the tour stops here. Let's go back.
So the first time you only went to Franklin and came back, and Rudy's and came back.
One barbecue. We didn't even, on the way back, we didn't even stop at Rudy's because it was like sometime at in the hours of the morning where it just was closed. So we drove straight because we had to be back for that catering order that was for Thursday.
And then that wasn't brisket. That wasn't Texas stuff. That was just kind of like your backyard barbecue stuff.
Then I came back and I went to my local restaurant Depot, bought some cheapy briskets and started practicing. And this was in September. And then in November we had some visitors from Austin. Robert Jacob Lerma was here, his friend.
The photographer.
Yeah, the photographer. But in those days, I mean, I was super duper rookie mode. I mean, it was more kind of like if I were to try it now, it would be like, okay, it's still tough, needs more time. But that was okay though because it gave me time to practice, you know. And then he gave me some tips. And
Did you even know how to cut it properly at that time?
no, I knew how to cut it. It's
Okay.
just I was more like at. I asked Robert, like, Robert, I know I have a long ways to go, but what do you recommend? He's like, well, the first thing you gotta do is you gotta use some really good whiskey. So I went after he left. I started using Creekstone, and then started using, whether it was a Master Chief or it was the Pine. So I kind of went through all different brands until I found the one brand that I'm using now, and that's really where I'm at right now. Where I'm at the point where I've tried most of the good ones out there, and I could say I've narrowed it down to one, and I'm happy with it. I'm really happy.
So that's also a good recommendation to people is the quality. You want to use quality ingredients. That's key too.
A lot of as you know right now, there's a barbecue fever going on here in LA. A lot of people are selling barbecue at pop-ups and from their houses, just like I was. And every now and then I get visitors, and they always ask me, Ray, what are some tips you can give me? I turn around that favor and I tell them, in order for you to achieve, what you want to achieve, you got to start with not just good ingredients, high quality ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you have to charge more, even if you have to, at the end of the day, pass the cost along to the customer to a certain extent, take my word, they will appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you. Because we already have enough cheap stuff being served here.
Well, especially I think nowadays with barbecue, people are willing to spend a little more if they know they're getting good quality.
Yes, but a lot of times you get to these places and they'll tell you it's X, Y, and Z quality, and then you chew it and you're like, oh, this is X, Y, and Z.
It's pretty obvious.
So you need to don't switch and bake.
Yeah.
Stick with what you promote and be patient, and good things will come.
So now, after Robert came, and you were still like kind of going through the ropes, trying to figure things out.
It took me 10 months. 10 months of practice.
Were you selling Southside Market sausage at the time?
No, Southside Markets came in somewhere around. This was in September. In December, I went back to Austin.
Okay.
That's when I met with Southside Market, and I asked them if I could sell some of the sausage. So I guess you could say I started selling sausages from Southside Market, not until mid 2016.
Okay.
It's been recent. I didn't want to jump on the sausage market yet because I just didn't have enough customers to justify the extra expense of bringing me in.
But there's not a lot of places, if any, selling proper Texas sausage here in Los Angeles.
From the big guys here in LA, no. Most of them are getting them from Santa Ana,
Yeah.
which I think you know the name already.
Yeah.
And they're getting them locally made.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been offered locally made sausages that are very similar. But when you put them side by side, I mean, these guys haven't been around since 1882 for nothing.
But yeah, well, Southside Market it's the oldest barbecue joint in Texas, correct?
Yes, it's the oldest it's the oldest one. It's still family owned. It's been passed through generations, but it's still family owned. It's not a corporate, as far as like a big corporate chain. It's really, you're still getting the values of the pride that goes into the sausage making.
And what sausages do you? I'll get into kind of what you're selling right now, but because I want to jump back to when JC came. But was that the big, like, what sausages do you sell? Which ones do you sell?
Well, right, we normally switch. So we'll do the original recipe, which is the beef recipe,
okay,
1882, and then we'll do the jalapeno cheddar sausage, which is my favorite.
Okay.
And I think for a lot of people, it's the people's favorite. But I think for right now, we're probably going to be stuck for the end of the year with the jalapeno cheddar sausages because
which is a phenomenal sausage.
I think it's phenomenal. I think it's a good tape. It's a good way to get to know Texas sausages.
Yeah, and it's not in the jalapeno for anybody. It's not too spicy. It's the adequate amount of heat.
And if you want it spicy, hey, throw in some of our famous spicy barbecues.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. So what was for me the turning point, at least for when you came to my radar, was J.C. Reed from the Houston Chronicle. Was that a big moment for you?
Yeah. So well, I didn't even know who he was. So somewhere around June, end of June. Don't remember the exact date, but it was end of June, beginning of July. It's kind of quiet. At that particular summertime was really quiet. Not too many people knew about us. He shows up, orders half pound of brisket, a sausage, small beans, and small potato salad, and asks for moist. And then he goes to the last table and sits, facing the outside. I didn't even know who he was. Shooting pictures, tasting it. And then he comes around and he tells me, "Hey, are you the owner?" And I'm thinking,
oh no, I know that's not always what you want to hear.
pardon my French, but it kind of came out.
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, what happened now?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm J.C. Reed with the Houston Barbecue Chronicle and barbecue columnist, and just wanted to tell you how good the food was." Well, thank you. It's a pleasure. He kind of went over and what he was doing in LA, and he thought that we were doing Texas barbecue the proper way. He tasted, the love and the passion, and now by then we were already comfortable enough where we were happy with what we were serving. We weren't like, oh my God, I think I undercooked the brisket, or I wouldn't say overcooked it, but it could happen. We were very confident. But he was happy, and turns out to be that in his trip to LA, he had gone to various locations, and happened to like the best Texas-style brisket in his trip.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what keyed it into me and made me realize I need to stop by. And then I wasn't living in the area, but when I came back, I kept thinking I need to stop by Ray's Barbecue. I need to stop by, and when I came in, I was shocked as to how close to Texas barbecue it felt real. It felt like I was back.
Yeah, because you living here in LA, you know that all we really had here in LA is a combination of either Southern or Mississippi style barbecue, which is straight floating in barbecue sauce, and it's most of the time not that particular day's barbecue. I read a couple of reviews online from other barbecue places, and I remember one that said, "Oh, they have a smoke schedule." A smoke schedule? What's a smoke schedule? And I kept on reading. So he smokes Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I'm thinking, oh, so that's how they do it. They smoke and just reheat the meat. And what do? They cover it in barbecue sauce. That's their style. Perfect. They're happy and roll with it.
So you're open Wednesday through Sunday. You guys, once you sell out, you're closed.
Wednesday 10 to 4, but don't take 4 as a set in stone. We do tend to sell out, not of everything at once, but we do tend to sell out starting at 1:30, 2 o'clock.
And so you sell brisket, you sell pulled pork, you sell ribs, you sell beef. Now you're starting to sell beef ribs again, right?
Yes. So pretty much, as you can see right above me is the menu board. And,
okay. There's a kid's mouth.
That's
I love that photo.
That's the brisket that we do, and of course, right now I changed the screens just because I'm doing some rebooting. But normally behind me it would be the
full menu, yeah.
So we do have. I think what people like about it when they come over here, there's a lot of visuals. I'm very visual, so I want people to see what they're going to eat and what to expect. I don't like these new. I don't know what's that word. These new kind of trends where people are just doing bare walls with writing. I need to see, show me the money, And I'm like that, so I want customers to experience, what I feel that's gonna, because you got to remember, food starts from the highest fruit.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, gets you hungry.
Gets you hungry. So I'm a believer in that. That's why when you come over to our shop, There's plenty of pictures to go by where if you're eating one thing, you're already thinking of what you're gonna eat on your next trip.
So it's brisket by the pound. The ribs are how are the ribs served? The pork ribs are by a rack or half rack.
So it used to be when you got to know us, it used to be by the half rack. Now we've gone strictly Texas, where everything's by the pound, half pounds. We don't do quarter pounds because, to be honest with you, I want to keep it where you come over and you enjoy a nice meal. If you want to do quarter pounds, we could do a quarter pound, but it would be more like you have to buy a half pound, and then you get a quarter pound of this, a quarter pound of fatty, quarter pound of meat.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, because you got to remember that at the end of the day, we just want you to have a good experience. A quarter pound, that's a teaser.
That's not enough food for me, anyways.
For some people, it might be, and that's okay. But give yourself a break. If you're gonna make the drive, make it at least a half.
Okay, so this we'll jump back to I want to jump to the LA Times article and Jonathan Gold stopping in, but you guys are about 10 minutes south of the 10 freeway. Get off at Santa Fe. You're from 10 minutes south of downtown, essentially downtown Los Angeles.
Yeah, literally. I mean, we're literally 10 minutes south of downtown LA. It's very easy. A lot of people do not know Huntington Park. They think it's somewhere else. No, we're just right down the street, really. I mean,
a lot of people know Vernon. I think Vernon, you're just on the cusp of Vernon.
One block from one block past Vernon.
Yeah, it's an industrial area, and a lot of your customers tend to be during the week, like for lunch. A lot of those are customers from the different factories in the area too, right?
Yes, mostly I would say management, office workers. We do have, of course, your regular laborers who love the brisket burritos, and then of course you have your upper management who comes over and wants to close a deal from a visitor from Japan, and they want to bring him to Texas barbecue. Well, guess where they're coming over?
That's nice.
They come over, they love the brisket. So,
and you can order ahead of time, right? Was it iwantbrisket.com?
Yeah. Is that iwantbrisket.com is the fastest way that we thought of that we could get you in and out without your lunch hour being spent waiting.
Okay, but on the weekends, and it's a place that what I love about your place is when you come in, you're there every day. Your wife's there. Sometimes your kids are there, and are they all family who are working?
Yeah, we're all family. Some of the ladies, you see two of the ladies back here helping us. Those are my wife's cousins.
Okay, I thought they were family.
Yeah, we're all family. And part of the reason why we do it is because, guess what? We've already gone through the employee. Mm-hmm. And we figured out, you know what? It's time to, after that Texas trip, we thought of everything. Right? It's time to really restructure everything and start from scratch. And that's what we did. We took about 4 trips after that Austin trip to go tweak. Some of the latest trip that we just got back from was from the Houston Barbecue Fest. Yeah, we go there, we eat, but at the same time, we're grabbing ideas, like this, let's apply this, let's do that. So when we come back, it makes whatever we had even a smoother process.
You're just always trying to improve.
Always, I'm a believer where there's always room for something. You're never in. I think the minute you start improving, it's just because you're there.
And what places did you visit on your last trip? Or was that you went to the Houston Barbecue Festival, so you ate a bunch of different...
Yeah, mostly ate. I did go to Killen's, and then I did go to, of course, the Barbecue Fest, and then the rest of the time was just kind of like different kinds of foods there. Not really, but we did have some really awesome pizza that I could say still haven't forgot about it. Really love Houston. In fact, we're gonna be there again for the next Barbecue Fest, and whenever they have it, 2018.
Nice. That's I want to go there too. I'd like to go there too. So let's we'll try to meet up there because I've never been to Houston, so I need to go.
Yeah, it's just the people there, just like in Austin, are phenomenal. Mm-hmm. You get the same warmth. I mean, Texas in general. I wish I had a home, but my wife's like, no, I like LA, but I don't have to deal with mosquitoes. Can we have a vacation home one day? Yeah, well, one day.
I could see you having a vacation home there. I'd love to do that too.
My wife, she loves LA. I'm not gonna lie
to you. So what should people know about Ray's Barbecue? What should they know about your spot?
As far as number one, we stick to the rules. 10 a.m. to closing time or sell out. We only do fresh. We don't do reheated. We only use USDA Prime, and we do it for the love of it. We don't do it for the money, because if we did it for the money, we would be open longer hours. And then we don't do it. We don't do it because we want to become a superstar or something. No, you know what? We do it because number one, true, it does help us pay the bills. But that's just any job will help you pay your bills. But we do it because we love it, and we want you to experience the same all moment that we felt when we were in Austin. We want you to experience it when you come here. And if I could save you a plane ticket or take that craving off your mind until you get to Texas, then guess what? You're at the right place. And you have, like the LA Times said, we have air conditioning.
You do have air conditioning. What was it like? What was it like having Jonathan Gold stop in?
Jonathan Gold, I almost had a heart attack. That particular day was May 12th. It was 1:50 in the afternoon.
You don't remember that at all. You don't remember it.
Oh, no, I remember exactly. Yeah, I'm in the back cutting some briskets all full of blood. My son tells me he's here. I'm like, who's here? I look. Oh, crap, it's Mr. Gold. Now I know how those chefs feel in the movie, that in the documentary, the City of Gold. We're talking about that their hearts pounding, and then I'm like, what do? I feel like a chicken with the head cut off, running around. Wash my hands. I'm already sweating cold, you know. And I'm like, hey, good afternoon, welcome. He's like, yeah, he's a shy guy. And I'm like, my hands are shaking. I'm like, well, welcome. And I recommend this, and my hands, I'm literally trying to grab it.
It's a weird feeling when you feel that. I've had that a couple times in my life. I hate that feeling. It's awful.
Yeah. It's like, I stop the hand. I'm like, I'm pointing at look, you saw brisket here. No. Okay.
So he got some brisket. What did he get?
Brisket. Everything was good to his standards. His brisket kind of was there at the top chart. Of course, we started to come. I was able to get him talking. I was able to calm myself, of course. And then we started talking about the rest of the food, and he told me about his experience he had in Austin, and how he was talking to Franklin, and he asked Franklin, Aaron, he's like, Aaron, so what about ribs? And then Aaron answers back and says, well, ribs will be ribs. What he was referring to that is that he liked everything that we had served that afternoon. But even I know it, those ribs that day were not the best ribs that I could put out. But then again, that's the whole element of surprise. If you know that he's coming over, and it wouldn't be as fun. You have to be on your game every single day. Cook every single day, like if the food critic for the LA Times or the New York Times, Pete Wells, is going to show up.
Oh, for sure.
And it's one of those things that as you go on, you learn it. And now it's like every day I cook like if one of them, or God knows who's going to show up, the barbecue god, Now I'm ready. Yeah. Hey, it's a learning process. I'm not going to complain. He liked the brisket. Cheers for the brisket.
And it's been ever since the article came out last Saturday. Has business doubled or 20-30%?
It's been between 115 to 130% more. Wow. We went from doing 150 pounds of brisket on a Friday to doing 300 pounds of brisket.
Wow.
Which is about 5 or 6 boxes. Now you gotta remember that for some of these guys in Texas, that's challenging, right? Yeah. But for me, that I'm only open 6 hours in a city that sells tacos and burritos and 99-cent burger, that's a big deal, my friend.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Or have people mentioned that they've seen the article, or you could just tell that it's a different crowd that's coming up?
As you know, when I'm here, the first question that I ask them after I'm taking their word, hey, so how'd you hear about this?
Yeah, you're good at that.
You got to know where your marketing money is going. I do spend a little money on Instagram accounts, advertising, but not that much. But most of my most of my advertising is just from the food doing its job.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, I definitely I love your restaurant. I love your passion. I love your family and what you put into it this daily. It's a lot of work to have a restaurant and be consistent with that restaurant. And my hat goes off to you. I don't wear a hat often, but if I was wearing a hat, my hat would go off to you. You're a great guy, and I'm so happy you took the time to chat about what you do. And if there's is there anything else that you'd want people to know about your restaurant?
No, you know what? I just just want to thank you again for the opportunity. But at the end of the day, it's just just think about it as in one of the interviews that you had with JC Reed that you mentioned. I think you really hit the nail, both of you, when you talked about. I'm just trying to bring a slice of Texas to LA. I'm not trying to reinvent it. I'm not trying to make it a California style. Maybe the burrito, but they don't have burritos in Texas, so that's valid.
If you had breakfast tacos, that would be.
They got breakfast tacos, but they don't have brisket burritos. But that's the only one item that I have. That's my twist. But everything else is just like you being at
For
home.
sure.
And at the end of the day, just like they say in Spanish, my house is your house. Same thing. My barbecue house is your barbecue house. So coming over, try us, be part of the family. It's simple as that.
I guarantee if they come, they'll come again.
We're smoking them. We're smoking them. And if you smoke it, they will come. We're smoking, so coming over 5 days a week.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, Ray, thank you so much, and I hope you have a great day. And I'll see you very soon. I think about your restaurant a lot, and I need to come by again.
Hey, thank you to all your audience and all of your followers, and we hope to see you here soon. And all it takes is one bite, and we'll win you over.
All right, thank you so much. Have a great evening.
Cheers.
Cheers.